The kind of movies I try to fit in during the Halloween season, I try to mix it up a little bit where I watch some old classics that I've seen a million times as like that comfort thing, very nostalgic. And then some modern horror. Like I like to see some things that I've never seen yet, especially with Monster Madness. I watched a lot of movies that I have never seen before. So it was very, very educational. But a lot of times it comes down to wanting to see something that is going to invigorate that Halloween spirit. What's a movie that's just going to make you feel like, okay, this is Halloween? And I think one that's really good actually is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
That's the best Halloween movie.
We were just talking about it before this.
I think that whole
everything about it.
If you're calling your movie Halloween, everyone should be different, and it just happens to take place on Halloween. So Halloween 1 with Michael Myers, and then Season of the Witch, and they were all different. I think that would have been really cool.
That was the idea.
I think because by the time they got to 3, they were like, we killed off Michael Myers, we burned him, he's incinerated, let's take it into an anthology direction. So every movie is going to be a different Halloween theme. I think the biggest problem with Halloween 3 was Halloween 2, actually, because that kind of made it seem like, well, it's going to be Michael Myers every time,
Absolutely.
Right?
That's what I thought, too, because I love, John Carpenter's one of my favorite, directors ever. And, I always skipped over Halloween 3, even though, 4 and 5 are shitty.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Halloween 3 is the stupid one without Michael Myers. I'm not even going to bother watching this. I love the first 2 classics. The other ones, I just want to see Michael Myers fuck people up more. But, they're dumb, with, the psychic girl. There's the one where you could see his eyes through the mask, and that takes away the entire, scary factor of it, seeing his eyes.
His eyes were shot out in part 2.
In 2, And, he should have gotten more and more fucked up each time, because, they burned him at the end of 2.
He should have been,
completely burned up, and, the next one.
Kind of like the zombie approach with Jason, but they never did that with Michael. They always made it he survived,
Right.
But I think that would have been cool if his body was just all creepy and just zombified.
Yeah, even with Jason Voorhees, they would change his, even after the iconic look in 3, they would change how he looked in all of them. I watched part 4 recently. His hands in part 4 are fucking disgusting, man. You see him grabbing people. They are just gross, gnarled, massive zombie hands. They're fucking nasty. Just look at that the next time you watch 4, which I guess I go back and forth if 3 or 4 is my favorite.
With Jason.
Yeah, with Friday the 13th.
4, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got Crispin Glover
with the dance.
Around. And,
Oh, and the makeup was that Back in Black he was supposed to be dancing to?
Right, and they changed it.
Yeah, that's right. And Tom Savini did the effects on Jason.
It shows.
He did 1 and 2, I know. But 4, I think when he did 4, he was doing his best work.
Did he do 3? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Is that the 3D one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I like a lot.
I
just the
I've been
ending
trying to
that
find
one freaks me out.
Yeah, I've been trying to find that in good 3D. I don't know if it exists because you can get it on Blu-ray, but it's the blue and the red glasses. It's not the proper 3D.
I had a friend growing up that was an idiot, and he looked exactly like that guy Shelley.
In
the movie with the floofy hair.
Shelley.
And he was just like a goofball like that too.
The ending to that one creeped me out where it's the girl gets away on the boat and then you see Jason in the house and he's like, whoa, in the window.
No mask on.
Yeah, I was that actually freaked me out a little bit. And then, but yeah, that was actually the first ever Jason movie I ever saw was the third one. It was just on TV one night.
I remember I saw the first one first, on
I saw
Monster
all on
Vision.
Monster Vision right here.
Yeah, that's how I saw all the original. Once I got into the slasher movies,
and they were censored, but Joe Bob would complain about the censoring.
But later at night on TNT, they had them on cable, after 11 or something like that, where they were uncensored.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember where I was. I'm pretty sure it was, but I remember seeing them on cable uncensored when I was about 13.
Because I might have been watching them at the same time. I feel like they were censored, but they left enough in where it wasn't. You didn't really notice that it was censored too much.
Maybe that's what it was, because it was my first time watching them. That's how I first got into. Because my parents never let me rent any of those movies. The covers of like Friday the 13th, that's some shit that scared me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Actually, in the video store, Royal Video in Canarsie in Brooklyn, in the kids section, they had this massive cutout of Leatherface from
Really?
Yeah, by the kids section from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and like I had no idea what this was, and I flat out refused to go in there because I was so fucking scared.
Yeah.
Like his foot was up on like this bloody stump, and he had that chainsaw. You know, his chainsaw is like fucking huge in part 3, and it was just this gigantic cutout. And like, I want to go rent like, you know, Peanuts VHS or like Transformers and shit.
You know,
and I refused to go in there. It was there for like a month, right in the window, and like my mom had to go in there and rent shit for me.
When I was a kid, my mom one time rented us Peter Pan, the Disney Peter Pan from the library, and you know, you would get the library case, and they were just those generic cases. And this was like I was a kid, so I wasn't able to read or anything at the time. I was like really young, and I knew how to work the VCR though, so I was like, "Oh, I want to watch Peter Pan again," and I grabbed Child's Play.
Oh no!
And it's just the beginning of Child's Play where Chucky cuts the head off of the Jack in the Box, and I saw that, and I was like, "Ah!"
Was that the first one?
Was it whichever one it was?
That's like the cover where he has the.
There's like a part that actually happens in it though, right?
I remember beginning with like the killer guy in the toy store
What
and
was
like the light.
maybe
it was
then he
the
does-
trailer.
It might have been the trailer.
It might have been a trailer
That's definitely
on
what
the
it was.
tape or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was that's what came on. It wasn't Peter Pan. It definitely wasn't. You know, that wasn't supposed. And it was whatever my family rented, because you know my family would rent from the library, and they'd rent like us something and then them something.
Peter Pan.
I gotta bring up, since I didn't know we were gonna talk about Jason Voorhees so much, but goddamn, I just finished up a whole thing with Jason Voorhees for that nerd episode. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but wait till you see. If it's not,
I think it comes out this Friday.
wow.
Right.
So Friday the 13th on Commodore 64. Wait till you see that shit.
I'm excited.
It's crazy. Like it's the stupidest game adaptation, or like a movie adapted into a game that I've ever seen. It makes no sense. But I'll say no more. Just wait till you see that.
I'm excited for that. But Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get back to Halloween 3.
Yeah.
I'm mad I didn't watch that as, not when it came out, but like even when I
When I was younger, same.
I didn't watch a lot of horror until high school and college, when I had friends kind of bring me into it. I watched some stuff, and as I said in the last episode, Fire in the Sky scared me and stuff, but I never seeked out scary stuff. And when I watched it, I thought it was funny. Like, me and my sister would rent like bad vampire movies and just dumb shit, you know. But I don't know. What the hell were we just talking about?
Halloween 3.
Oh, yeah,
Halloween 3 and how it's the best one.
Well,
But you know,
this
but I
way,
watched-
it's the most Halloween of all of them, because
far and away.
it's about Halloween. Like the main villain in the movie is like this hardcore Halloween fanatic, where he's like, I'm going to return Halloween back to its glory of the Samhain days, of the sacrifices and everything. And of course, the movie's ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun.
It's so good.
And the soundtrack, do yourself a favor.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to bring up too.
Yeah, go on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use. Look up John Carpenter's score to Halloween 3. It is so good. It's the best score, I think, aside from like the original Halloween. It's so good. You could just put that in when you're driving around looking at Halloween decorations and stuff, and it just sets the perfect mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. That was one thing I was going to bring up. Like any of like the spooky synthwave bands or acts out now.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh, remember?
it just sounds like you're just covering Halloween 3.
We went and
I'm
saw
fine with that.
Goblin.
Yeah.
That one time,
Goblin.
I remember in concert, and the other band, they played like all what's it called, the Night of the Living Dead music and stuff.
Badass.
But they play it like with the projector show, so it's playing the scenes while they're actually playing the score to the music.
that's
and stuff.
awesome.
that
It
is
was-
awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, I remember it in Portland. I think I brought this up before, but we were at a Quarter World. Remember? I think
Yeah, that
you
was
were
the
there.
arcade we went to
yeah,
like
Quarter World.
every night.
And the
Quarter
DJ,
World.
he played the like the montage of Halloween 3, but he also played the theme song to Cannibal Holocaust, and I'm like, dude,
Oh my
you're
God.
playing the jams right now.
Yeah.
'Cause that song is good too.
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust has some really good music to it too, which actually too, a few people pointed that out when we did the what was it, Green Dog, the opening scene where you're watching the commercial and Marshall, who's the TV guy.
That was hysterical,
He was
by the
using-
way.
yeah.
Just call the fucking number.
When the backgrounds that he's on, it's the intro of Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, really?
It's the trees.
Oh,
like
okay.
as it's sweeping,
Wow,
I
yeah.
just used that as the background because since he's talking about like a Caribbean
Oh,
vacation,
wow.
I
That's what
threw
you
that
used.
in there
That's fun.
as the green screen background.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
after
So-
Halloween 3, Tom Atkins just should have been in every one, just
yeah,
because
Tom
he's the
Atkins should-
fucking man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Throw
I love
me.
how they're watching Halloween in Halloween.
Yes,
3.
yes, like that was great. And that
Yeah.
I love how the
Fucking-
movie ends on a cliffhanger. But
Fucking
Tom,
Silver Shamrock, man.
Yeah, I love
Tom
when,
Atkins
when
is
he's
just awesome
calling
in
and he's like, turn it,
Turn it off,
it's still
off."
on.
Yeah.
Turn the TV off or whatever. He's
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
out.
And then
That-
it flashes on your screen.
right? And you
Yeah.
don't know how it ends.
On
but
the fucking bug scene.
Oh,
and
yeah,
snakes
that-
and
that's
that-
the
yeah.
that's the best part
The
with
part
the
where
kid.
the kid's
Yeah.
head
When you
turns
see
to
what the mask
crickets.
is gonna do.
That's
Yeah.
honestly. So I watched this movie one night, and I was in college when I first saw it. It was because AMC used to do it on Halloween. They would do a Halloween marathon
right.
of all the movies. And when that one came on, I was like, "What the fuck? This one isn't, Michael Myers. What's going on?" And when that part came on, I was eating. And I
Good time to
lost all appetite. It grossed me out so much when the
Yeah.
kid's head turned into crickets. I was
The
like,
one that
That
bugged
kid was
me
a piece of
Oh,
shit
yeah, he
too.
sucked,
He
yeah.
The
deserved
one
it.
that the one that bugged me, no pun intended, bugged me. But the mouth, like when they're coming out the mouth,
Mouth,
and it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
and
that
he's just
was-
like with
Yeah.
the mask. It freaked me out. I like when that part when he's leaving the laboratory and he uses all the chips and they all start blowing up and
Yeah,
stuff or whatever.
yeah.
It was a good movie.
It is. I didn't watch it until, like I said, I just skipped it. I'm like, fuck Halloween 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw some people talking on Twitter like, no, watch it like independently, just as its own movie. Like, all right, fine, let me go
Yeah.
check it out. So I watched it like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is
I
awesome.
feel like
This
they
is
should have
so
just
good.
They should have just released it as Season of the Witch.
just
and
Season
called
of the
it a
Witch,
fucking
and
That's
thing.
what,
people would have absolutely loved it.
yeah, and actually the creator said that too. Why am I blanking on his name? Tommy Lee Wallace, I saw at a Q&A at the Cherry Hill Monster Mania one time, and he said the exact same thing. He was like, we should have just called it Season of the Witch, and it wouldn't have had
And
such
it-
a
yeah.
problem. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wait, so it wasn't directed by John Carpenter?
No,
Okay.
he directed 1 and 2.
Okay.
And Tommy Lee Wallace, he was I think the production designer on the first one at least, and he also played Michael Myers in a couple scenes because, like the scenes where he would have to break the door, it was easier for him to just put on the costume and do it because he knew how the door was going to break and stuff like that.
Right.
Because he might have even done it for the closet. Oh no, actually there was even like a rumor, I think, that John Carpenter was Michael Myers. There was like 6 people who played
Yeah,
Michael
well, there's
Myers
like
in
the
first
one guy that was just
Yeah.
cast as the Shape. I forgot
Nick
his-
Castle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that is always
I
known.
hate
then
the
there's-
fucking Shape. I don't like that.
Oh, how it's called, The
No.
Shape?
What is that?
Well,
Just a little too pretentious for you?
No, I don't like it being like kind of a supernaturally thing. I prefer just the first movie and then call it a day. I don't like the different branching pathways or the Rob Zombie
I didn't know
stuff
about
or,
it, The
you
Shape,
know.
until I saw the Halloween nerd episode, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The Shape,
The
what
Shape,
the fuck?
yeah.
Because I wasn't like hyper aware about directors or anything like that, like I am now because of all the shit we do with movies
Yeah.
and commentary. I didn't, honestly, that's the other thing too is John Carpenter. Like noticing when you watch his movies now with a more critical eye, you definitely see a very there's similarities in just certain things and
Oh yeah.
it's also kind of weird because a lot of Halloween Season of the Witch takes place in the day. And even the first
Yeah.
Halloween, a lot of it is during the day, some of the scary scenes. Like that's something that I don't feel like you see in a whole lot of other horror movies. It's almost always
One
at
of the
night,
scariest scenes in the first Halloween is during the day when Michael Myers steps out from behind the bushes and then goes back.
Yeah.
That's still,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like, that's fucking
Or
terrifying.
like
Yeah.
the laundry in the window in the
Yeah,
one movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like the first movie that kind of took the idea of like, Halloween, it's so common to see people walking around in masks, but it was like, well, what if one of these people in masks just walking around was like a killer?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they went with that in like part 2. There's like people dressed like that.
Yeah.
And the cops like stop them.
They killed the Ben Tramer guy.
Right.
But that's more like the one thing I think is cool about. I mean, there's a few good things I could say about 2, but like one of the things I liked was that Dr. Loomis was starting to lose his mind as the movies go on. Where like, because as I remember, it was kind of his fault, that scene where the kid got killed. It was Dr. Loomis because he was so like.
Just paranoid.
Yeah, he was like like, obviously he has to go and stop Michael Myers, but he was too like trigger happy or whatever. I forget what happens in the scene. I think it was the cop who did it, or it was
yeah, but they're like, get them. The cars are moving around.
Yeah, and they like just slammed into him or whatever. But by five, when he's got the girl and he's using the girl as like bait to lure in Michael, he's like, "Come on, get her, Michael."
That's
then
right.
He's going crazy by that point.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what's interesting about Dr. Loomis is that he just gets nuts as the movies go on.